It's a hot summer day on the farm, and I'm buck naked. I'm 5 years old. My family has just moved from city life in New Haven, Connecticut, to the country life in southern Ohio. I am living in this farmhouse that's a small house, but there's acres of land, and we even have a barn with chickens and goats and rabbits. But on this day, my little sister Beanie and I are in the living room, and my mom is around the corner in the kitchen doing dishes. My mom wears a kitchen towel draped over her shoulder to dry her hands, and she has big 80s style hair that's permed and wears gargantuan glasses that magnify her blue eyes. The house isn't air conditioned, and Beanie's wearing pull-up diapers, but other than that, we're naked. It is too hot for clothes. Beanie follows me as I decide to venture out to the front porch. I slide open the screen door and I step out onto a smooth slab of concrete that feels cool on my bare feet, and I can feel the outdoor air on my nude skin. The porch is pretty empty. No one ever comes out here. We always enter the house through the back, but there is one piece of furniture. It's an old weathered couch glider. It sits on an aluminum frame, and it has metal springs in the seats with these raggedy cushions with a 1970s brown and orange floral print. I tell Beanie that we can transform this furniture into a trampoline and bounce on the springs in the seats, and she's delighted with our new invention. We're naked, we're free, it's summer, we're having the time of our lives. Suddenly, I look down at the cushions that I'm standing on, and I hear a loud buzzing sound. I see a swarm of insects fly from under the cushion and encompass my sister and I. There are several thousand of them, and we have no defense with our unclothed skin. These insects lance our bare skin with their stingers over and over again. I can feel venom in my skin, but I have never been stung before. I'm 5. I don't know what these creatures are, where they came from, or how to escape them. My mom hears us, we're hysterical, and she rushes to the screen door, but she herself hesitates when she sees, because she recognizes that these creatures are yellow jackets. They're a wasp, and unlike bees that sting once and then die, yellow jackets sting repeatedly. They are especially aggressive when you use their nest as a trampoline. I could see my mom, so she uses the screen door like a shield, and she reaches for her trusty towel, and she starts slaying and swinging at the wasps in a fencing match. I can see that her face is bright red, and her eyes look furious, and she's screaming, and I think she's mad at me. I've done something really bad and really wrong. She's yelling, "Get in, get in!" And I don't know how to respond to her command because I can tell that she wants me in the house, but the wasp out of the house, and I don't know how to separate myself from the wasps. They're everywhere. They're even tangled in my hair, and they're stinging my scalp. Somehow, my mom manages to get my sister and I through the house and into the car and drive us to the hospital. This is a familiar drive for us because my dad is a radiologist, and he works at the local hospital. So my mind, at 5 years old, has this conception of hospitals as this really fun place where, while Dad finishes reading a few x-rays, my sister and I run around and play. When we arrive at the emergency room, my conception changes completely. I don't see my dad anywhere. There are nurses swarming me. They're dabbing my swollen red skin with ammonia-soaked cotton swabs. Then a nurse hands me a cherry red popsicle. I don't know what to do with this popsicle. I am in shock. I've been stung over 100 times. I've also never really been hurt like this, so I don't know how to gauge if the pain will subside or when. Finally, I look up and I see my dad. He's looking very professional in his white medical coat, and a tie, but to me, he's just my dad. He's got a big mustache and brown eyes that sparkle with love. He scoops me up, and I wrap my legs around his waist, and I nuzzle my head into his shoulder. And I'm immediately soothed by the familiar smell. In contrast to the chemical smelling ammonia, I smell the familiar scent of stale tobacco and aqua velva aftershave. I lean my head on his shoulder, and I can hear the vibration of his voice. And this is the familiar voice. I know this voice. This is the voice that sang me lullabies since I was a baby, home on the range, at summertime. Even the popsicle that I'm still holding makes sense now that I'm in my dad's embrace, and I can finally enjoy it as a sweet treat, though it is melting red syrup all down my hand and now oozing red sticky syrup all down my dad's medical coat. He doesn't care one bit, completely accepts me, mess and all, with unconditional love. My dad and I have spent a lifetime together. He turns 75 next month, and he still lives in Ohio. I've never been stung by a yellow jacket since, but life has been as messy and sticky as that red popsicle at times, and life certainly stings. And my dad is my Ohio haven.